Hey guys, what's going on? Tony here, CCxRC in the studio today, going live with you. It's work day, and so we've got on the bench the VCar, their SCTX10 version 2, it says, and we're going to be taking this thing apart and work on something that I broke on here. So other than the body, I didn't really break much, and I bashed it really hard with backflips and crazy crashes. So we've definitely got some repair work to do there. I'm going to be doing, basically, you'll get a little behind the scenes of this because I'm actually going to record this separately for the channel. Just kind of showing some of the repairs I'm doing. So I'll be stopping to address the camera like I would for my videos. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out and works. And you'll see how that's all cut up and chopped up when I'm actually doing this stuff to camera, but then actually just working for a little while and all of that. So I'm trying to get everything set up here. You guys are jumped in early. This one's going to be more about a live. I don't know if I'll actually leave this one up or not, because really for this it's more just engaging with people as we're working on stuff. So it may have some dull moments for people on replay. I don't know that for sure, but it could. It's very possible, unless there's people jumping in. But it's a Friday morning. People should be at work. This today for me is my work. I've got the Bison. I've got to put a new chassis on. So I've got this loaded up. I've been wanting to get to this for a while. I got a metal spur gear for that truck as well, and a bunch of other miscellaneous parts that I've kept all baggied up here. Drive shaft cover. JLB parts here that I've got to work on. I've got to work on my Revo already. I blew out one of the pins and the CVDs there in the front drive shaft. So I was running two-wheel drive the other day. Still just tore it up at the BMX trails. So I've got video of that I need to edit still. And, you know, just a lot of cool stuff like that going on right now, guys. So I'm going to try and see if I can't find my own feed here so I can see anybody that might be commenting. It always takes just a minute for it to kind of go up to the interwebs, get recognized by my own personal YouTube, and then be able to see it so that I can see the comments that are going on. And YouTube is just kind of being really funky right now, so it's taking me to Google+. But I've got everything set up a little bit different in here today so that I can do the multiple camera. Here's the live stream. It says we got 30 of you guys watching. That's crazy for a Friday morning. At least in the US, I guess. Maybe it's good timing for people in Europe and Asia. You know, things that we don't always take into account for these live streams and for audiences all over the place. So that's what's cool about YouTube, is it can bring us all together. Let's see what the chat's doing. If anybody's in here, or if you're all just sneak watching while at work. All right. Okay, so there are some comments in here. I got to play catch up now. See if I can make this window any bigger. RC Noob 360 says hello. My screen's down here, guys. Maybe I'll do something with my computer here so I can kind of show you my setup here in just a minute. Because the software that I'm running is really awesome on my iPad, but I'm actually using it as a camera this time instead of just a switcher. And so it means that now I've got to look down here. Jimmy the Hobo, hello. James Price, how's it going, guys? Everybody jumping in. RC Nixter, just having breakfast. Oh, that's awesome, man. You gonna go out and freeze a little bit today? Jamin RC, you're bored and tinkering with your own rig. Yeah, I'm gonna be tinkering a lot this morning. I've got some easy ones and some harder ones. Moneybank82 says the Gravedigger looks awesome. Yeah, I've got several of those. I've got my coffee as well. Somebody says perfect coffee in a live video. I'm still playing catch up. Grant's RC Adventure checking in from Canada. Wayne Kibler's RC Adventures. Good morning, man. McCarter says, what do you think about a trophy truck build series? I think it'd be awesome for somebody else. I actually would love to do one, but I don't know. I've got another build I've got to get to with the son of a digger that's up there. So that's coming next. But, so I'll show you guys what I did to this car really quick. Now, I know we've got people in and able to bounce around. But I destroyed the body, and so I've just kind of taped it up to death, just trying to make it salvageable. But there's pretty much no plastic anymore in this region here, actually over here. So I've got to find where my holes go for the back. I might try and put some, reinforce it with just a little bit of plastic here. Cut it. This is heavy though. It's probably thicker than I'd want. So maybe I'll look for like an old piece of plastic that I can put in or tape into those mounts where the holes will go through. But basically what I busted is right here on the body post. They've got an interesting way that they do it. So it's got a plastic piece that holds these separate, I guess they just screw in through the bottom, which I guess a lot of people do. I just hadn't really seen it on one of these short course done quite like this. But I snapped it right here. It was a pretty brutal crash. So this whole thing has to come off. But the good thing about this is it's a Helian. Basically, the U.S. brand is a Helian. And so when I was in Hobbytown getting the parts for the build that I was doing with the mud truck, I was getting the steering wheel, motion steering wheel thing from Yeah Racing. I picked this up, and it has the new post, and then I also bought somewhere over here. I've got the little mounts that go on. So that bash session set me back $7. My first bash with it. But again, I was going pretty big with it, so you know, a lot of times I just blame myself for a lot of the damage that's done to my RCs, because I usually take them out and get stupid with them because it's fun. These look like this size here. Alright, so Jamin is saying hello to everybody in there. Kyle saying breakfast live with Tony. What time is it where everybody's at? I know we got people from all over. Nice rigs in the background. Thank you, Van Dorian. Marcus is saying it's 10 there. RC Noob saying it's 8 there. It's 8:47 here. So we just have a little really easy repair to do. This might be just 2 screws holding this in, actually. It's what it looks like. That's going to be real simple. They could. Yeah, that's all the mounts they've got. So this whole thing is just going to pop off that easily. So this will be a real quick repair. I might do another once over of it, but really quick system in this. What's crazy is that the motor in this looks a lot like the ZD Racing, but the ZD Racing truck is way slower. Or even the LRP yesterday. It looks to be about the same size motor system. I just need to check out the gearing, because I was expecting it to be quite a bit faster than it was, that buggy yesterday. So we'll just kind of tear into this. Some of these repairs like this are so easy to do. It's just kind of a real breeze and fun. The one that I'm not going to enjoy is the one I'm doing later on, which is a full chassis replacement for the Bison. So that one's going to require quite a bit more work. And actually, before I put this on, I'm going to go ahead and put the posts on it, because I think it'll be harder to work on getting up underneath here to put these on once it's on the truck. So Aaron's saying 840, yeah, 848 in Roanoke. Jamin's saying 9. So I like any RC that they make easy to work on. That's my favorite thing about the X-Max, is how easy that thing is to work on. I've been looking at the Revo, and everyone's saying that there's a new Revo possibly coming out. And I hope that they put the same R&D into that thing that they did the X-Max, because the X-Max is awesome to work on. And the Revo doesn't appear to me to be as nice. Even looking at the repairs that I've got to do to the CVD, it seems like they could have done a pin system on that, because they're doing like C-clips, and it's just kind of weird to me that they did that. Those C-clips are just going to fly off the way I drive it all the time. So I'm going to be losing those little pins that run through it all the time. Or at least that's my fear. How's it going, Muhammad Azan? Jamin, yeah, it is pretty cool that when these come with this netting. I mean, it's just a small thing that they do, but it kept the internals here so much cleaner than a lot of my RC cars when I'm done driving them. At times, it can be a pain to put on. I always try and keep two clipped because that makes it just that much easier. Oh, seriously? This thing doesn't come with the screws to mount them. Well, lucky for me, I just picked this up for the build, the original RC screws. These are for SMT10, but they pretty much work with everything. There's just tons of standard size screws in here, so 3 millimeters. So I just need to find about the right length. But yeah, finally. You know how many times I was nickel and diming the screw bags for things like this size? Way too much. And then I never know how to store them and keep them organized. But just having a little kit like this just makes all the difference in the world as far as finding the screws and stuff that you need. So it's well worth the investment if you don't have a screw kit to get one. I'll just say that. I've been doing this for 4 years, 5 years now. I feel like I keep saying 4 years over and over, but the years are long. So, hey Tank, how's it going? I'm still recovering from your live stream last night, and but my wife told me I had to go to work this morning and make some YouTube money. So I have to have a productive day, basically. Somebody's asking, is the short V-Car short course truck any good? Would you recommend FP drone instead? It depends if you have places to fly FPV drones. So that one just popped away. That was RC Noob 360. Yeah, I just don't have easy places to get to fly my drones, so I haven't really flown them in 2-3 months, I would say. I used to fly them up at Debbie's RC World, and when that closed, I just don't have a place that I can just run them easily. Can't run them in my yard, it's not big enough. So I like the cars because I can just take it out in the front yard, I can take it out in the street, and I can just run it whenever I want to. Whenever I get the hankering to run the cars, I just go out and do it. But I can't really do that with drones. Except for maybe my in-the-house one. But those batteries only last for like 3 minutes. And then, darn it, see, this is stripped. And it's not all the way in. Uh-oh. Might have been too long of a screw. RC Noob saying his is having his first chassis replacement as well, his Bison. That's going to be quite a chore, I think. That's going to be a longer job. So, that's going to be second. I'm doing the easy one first. Which is... sometimes what you think will be easy turns out to not be easy, especially when you strip screws and stuff. Which happened to me on my the JLBs when I was trying to fix what was just like a bent hinge pin carrier, and then I was gonna have to take it off and rebend it and put in a new, I think, pin or something. And I had all the pieces, but I could not get the screw out because they use really cheap metal screws. Yeah, Tank. We were on the Tank has his own RC live show that he does Thursday nights at 9:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern time is the start, either 9:30 or 10, depending on whether or not he's ready to start at 9:30, based on what's going on in his home life. So we were on till I think after midnight. It's usually only 2 hours long live, but it stays on. And so he does the hangouts where people can actually, you know, multiple people can jump in and talk, which are awesome. So it's a totally different kind of format, but I like it. It's not something I could do for this particular video, but yeah, so there we go. Morning, Michael Pop. Kyle, I'd probably take the bicycle apart in sections and halves. That's my plan. We'll take a look at that in just a second. I'm going to put this on here real quick and see if I can't locate, there we go, where these back posts are. I feel like I feel that one there. I don't really feel, there it is. So I'm thinking I could just take my little Lexan punch, try and punch out a hole. I'm kind of just rigging this, guys. That looks like it should have been right. There it is. So once I have that, then I'll just make a little plastic fitting that'll go underneath it, the body here, and I'll line it up with these holes and punch it through. But I just needed to kind of get a quick fit. Push up on it so I can feel it. There it is. So this is my quick fix so I don't have to buy a new body. There's certain things I hate spending money on. I know some people love it, but I hate spending money on tires and on bodies. And some people say that's what makes the truck and all that, but just not my favorite. I think I actually put that hole too far back, so I'm actually, but this is Gorilla tape. Good strong tape, and I mean that would probably do, and it's flexible, so I might leave it like that for a little bit and try a run with it. It'll be a pain to put on and off every time though. So let's see what we've got here. People, MKV 6-speed. Yeah, man, it's got white grass and cold. I break stuff today. Kagan, yeah, this thing, the shroud does definitely keep it nice and clean. However, I don't do a good job keeping the rest of it clean. And now I've got a really messy desk. It's easier to vacuum it up, I think. So we'll just do that. All right, let's throw down the next one that we'll be looking at. Actually, we won't be looking at this one next, but we'll look at what we've got to do. So this one comes with the shroud too. I just stopped using it. I shouldn't have, but I did. So basically I'm going to pop these off here and on the bottom, and then I just have to take out the drive shaft. Oh crud, it's actually busted. The center diff is busted. So we'll look at that too. So I've got a broken center diff. The outdrive on it. I abused it pretty bad that day up at Digger's Dungeon. So I'll basically get it set up and then have to look at what I need to order replacements for. But again, this being a rebrand as a Helian here in the US, I can get a lot of these parts up at Hobbytown or A-Main. Just order them. The shocks feel like they need a little work. The front ones are not as nice and plush as the rear. They kind of really spring back. Alright, James Price saying he's got his Everest 10 body to fix. Grant was asking something. Oh yeah. Cool thing you guys can do is you can sub for sub people in the comments. Lots of cool RC channels. So this is something I'm going to try and tackle today. I'm starting with the easy stuff, you know, to get motivation, because this could really frustrate me and make me stop. But I do have to do some run stuff today. I need to run a few things. I want to get a test run on the mud truck. I probably have to Loctite all the little nuts on the stinking rims, which is not going to be fun. I do have to replace or repair this guy, which is what I'm going to do next. I've got this drive shaft in here that's going all over the place right now. So that's the next repair. Boost his life. Is the Bison the fastest RC I've got? I don't think so. I think the J3 Speed is faster, which is up top there. I think. I don't know that I ever speed tested my Bison. I think that was before I got the speedometer. Tank says I need a small compressor to blow the dust off. Yeah, I have a small one and a medium one down in the garage. I should probably bring the small one up here. I found my X-Max wrench. DHK wrench work? Feels like that'll work. Yeah, the DHK runs the same size. This Revos Big. It's looking huge up here with the camera on. Give you guys a look. Just massive. Kyle says he didn't like the stock Bison suspension. Yeah, the thing I want to do is put that chassis brace on. I think that'll make a big difference. So you can maybe see easier now what we broke here. So what they do is they have, it's nice in that it's somewhat easy looking to repair. We'll see in just a second. I've got the parts. Got the parts somewhere over here. Here we are. I've just gone to keeping like Ziploc bags of my parts for each thing in a larger bin. So I don't have enough to put each one into its own bin. Enough spare parts, but have this little kit, and there's the little pins that run in there, and then there's a bunch of little C-clips that go on it. So we'll see how easy that is. This thing is a fun rig though, especially with these Badlands on. The MX-38s here. It's just, they're so much lighter than the other tires I had on it for the first run that it just stands up when you're running it. Have fun, Grant. Said he's going to go play some Black Ops. That's cool. So, I don't know the easiest way to do this. I was going to try and give you guys a view. We'll see if I can't still do that and not get myself completely frustrated trying to reach through here. So I'm going to probably need to get another small Ziploc baggie to keep all this stuff contained inside of here once I cut it open, because stuff's just going to want to pop out. So yeah, here's the little pin that'll go through, and I'm going to put one of the clips on and then put it through, and that'll hold it in place, and then I'll try and snap the other one on without getting too frustrated. These things are hard enough, I think, on their own. They go flying, and yeah, they're just really small to work with. Really tiny. Where my needle nose. It's like you need a third hand for some of this stuff. That's what I found with the mud truck build. There's several times I'd call my son over and ask him to, hey, just hold this here. It'll make it easier for me to grip it. All right, my chubby fingers too don't make this any easier. Here we go. I think I got one. I don't know how I'm gonna do that once it's in the car. I don't know if I can let you guys see that or not. A little C-clip. So that is what's holding this massively fast rotating piece to the tire. I'm actually gonna not let you guys see. It'll be easier for me. Sorry. Just, you have to hold on a second. It's basically a rebuild kit for your drive shaft and your U-joints. Hey Darren, how's it going? Yeah, RC Next are tiny parts for that. It's kind of crazy. It might be easier to just take this whole arm out and put it on and then shove it back through. I was trying to avoid having to do that, honestly. But that might be my best bet. Because it's getting kind of tight in there. We'll see, it's in. Kind of in. Yeah, put a little grease on it. I was thinking that I've got some up here. Oh, here we go. Some grease. Good call. I want to put some on here and maybe help it slide in better and work around a little bit better too. Kind of getting this area up here set up so that I can work up here more often instead of out in the garage. Got my little table now just off to the side. What I don't have is a hammer though. That'll probably help. See, at work in UK, so we'll watch later. Darren says, sounds good. Kyle says probably 80 weight. Is that for the, you guys still talking about the Bison shocks? Yeah, I might have to take this off. Bummer. Seems like it should just push through there, no problem, but maybe I'll just try and reset this from the other side. You know, sometimes you just work harder than you need to. I'm just going to take it out. Just going to go ahead and take it out. I might not even push it all the way out, guys, but I did just take off the hex so that I can get in here and see this a little bit better for lining it up. So that's what I'm kind of working on right now. Somebody's commenting about on one of my videos or somewhere about I posted about LRP. I got my info from Big Squid, so if I'm wrong, they just said that they were closing in March, that they couldn't find a buyer for LRP. And yes, I know their sites and stuff are still up, but somebody just commented on something of mine. It says, LRP going out of business? I don't think so. I hope not. I mean, that'd be awesome. Don't want to see anybody go out of business. I'm not doing something right here. Seems like it should be a straight shot through. Any tips? Anybody else have one? I can see through that thing. I don't understand why. There we go. We're through! That's gonna suck to put that other clip on. Alright, so here we go. Kagan's trick. Gonna put some grease on here to really kind of hold that C-clip on there. Make it want to stay. Now I gotta find the C-clip. The C-clip. The second one I put out here. Shoot. Alright. Also made it stick to my finger better. Good tip. Good tip. What are you guys working on? Do you have any cars? I know Kagan's got several things he's working on. And we're done. Fixed. Ready to bash again. Those are my favorite words to say. Ready to bash. Talking about shock oil, I see. Why is that popping through all the way? It's gonna be one of those easy jobs that didn't turn out to be so easy. Not getting it to push through far enough. Now it's like that pin is keeping it from pulling out all the way, so I can't get. I mean, I gotta come out a substantial amount. What am I getting hung up on in here? It's like the pin is catching on the bearing, maybe? Not pushing through. This is my first time working on one of these. I'm not sure what I'm dealing with here. Let's just try and coat it with a little more grease. See if we can coax it back into the hole there. There we go. Little grease. Little grease goes a long way. Awesome. Now I just got a little blue locker on here. Call it good. Good morning, Antonio. DJ Plus says all his RCs broke. That's kind of the boat I'm in a lot of times. If you're really bashing them, that tends to happen. At some point, I don't know where it happens, but bashing becomes abuse. All right, that's two vehicles now ready to run again, which excites me. I like it when my cars are ready to drive. All right, locker. I can't find my Traxxas branded Hex. Oh, here it is. It wasn't in my box, that's why. But the DHK one works on here as well. RC Nixter says just started playing with some styrofoam, making scale accessories. That's cool. Do you have any pictures of those on Instagram? I have to go on to Instagram and look. James Price says he sold off his 16th Revo because he couldn't fix it. Oh, that's a bummer. That's good. Get this on here nice and tight. Check them all again. All right. That's another RC ready to bash again. I like it. That wasn't too bad. It was a little bit harder than I expected it to be. I'll be honest. I thought that was going to be a super quick fix. Let's see, I missed a few comments here. Maybe new A-arm on Arma Creighton, Kyle says. Hello, Michael Montgomery. Missed that you'd popped in. Gavin said he had an HPI 5T and 5B SS Habeo Truggy. Sold them all. Ah, bummer. Yeah, the E-Revo video coming soon. Basically, I took it out to the trails, and off the first little jump on the entryway, that pin popped out. Now, I could have done the damage to it earlier. I was in my backyard just flipping it for fun one day. When I put the new tires on, it was just crazy how much different it was. And then, so maybe during that, because I was shocked at the thrashing I gave it, and landing on the front end hard a lot of times on flips. And so it's possible I actually like popped the pins off there, but it just came out when I was driving at the trails. But I was up there and through, literally the first jump off of this kind of weird box that I like to just hit for fun on my way into the park, I busted out the rest of the pin, and it was two-wheel drive. So the whole time I'm at the BMX park, I'm in a two-wheel drive on that thing. But I still was launching it and flipping it and doing all the crazy stuff. Jalen Jones is at school. How's it going, man? Somebody says, oh my god, I meant sick. I gotta read what that said. Maybe it was removed. I missed it. RC Noob said, oh my god, I meant sick. So I missed something somewhere. Anyway. That's funny. So, I can only imagine what was said. Makes me chuckle. So I'm just going to tape this package back up, actually. That's the other way I do it. Got a big old roll of my Gorilla Tape here for bodies, repairs, taping my tripod down to the table, all that good stuff. That was not a long enough piece. What was I thinking? But yeah, this has been a day that's been long coming for me. Unfortunately, I need to get some more pinions because I destroyed the pinions on my JLB Speed and my JLB Cheetah. And so I need to get a new one. Because I want to get that car running again. Those things are so much fun. Oops. And I chunked out the spur gear, or the pinion gear. There. So that one can just go back in my Revo bag now, wherever I put that. Alright, another drink of coffee. Duct tape is your friend, Tank says. I prefer Gorilla Tape. Ducks just don't seem very tough to me, but gorillas, they're pretty tough. Anybody seen the new commercial for the Rampage movie and spot the Bronco, the front end of the Bronco in that? Not only do I think it's awesome that they're doing a Rampage movie, but I think it's even more cool that they're driving a Bronco. So I'm going to have to wait for the comments. Always takes a minute for them to catch up. Tony, any 1/24th rigs? I don't have anything, I don't think, that small. I think 1/16th or 18th is the smallest scale that I've got. I'll look around and think. Yeah, I don't think so. I've been looking at the not the Barrage, maybe it's the Barrage, ECX, the little truck that they just came out with, the orange truck. I think it's the ECX Barrage, maybe. No, the Barrage is bigger. I think that's 12th scale. Unless they have an 18th scale as well, or 24th, like micro crawler. RC Noob 360. It all depends on your budget. He's asking, he's got the Bison. Should he get another RC car? What one? Should he get the V-Car SCT? For a short course truck, 4-wheel drive brushless, that's a crazy price on those, especially if you use the RC18 off code. But I will say that the Helion 410SC, if you're in the US, you can get it at Hobbytown for $250. So I think it's $25 more, but you get it straight away here, and it has upgraded electronics and things in it. So, but it's the same exact roller that you're getting. And I saw them, if you go to the Hobbytown Twitter or Instagram, they were launching that thing off of a new metal ramp and that they built, and it was just going nuts and taking a beating. So I think it can take a bigger beating than the Bison, just because of the build. It feels like the Bison was built on the short course frame. They said, hey, the short course works awesome, let's build a truggy. And the extra weight in the wing and all of that, I think, adds to the problem that we're seeing with the chassis on the Bison. Because I think they fit that onto something else that worked without the R&D to find out what could happen if you landed on the fin. But the short course truck looks super tough. Hey, Dragon Ball's in here. How's it going, man? Jamin, yeah, so that's what I've been looking at. I've been looking at Barrage. I really liked the Proline one. But I heard that it might be discontinued. Is that true? Does anybody know? Somebody was speculating that that was already being discontinued. I don't remember where I read that. So don't quote me on it. You know, certain things pop up and you read things, and not everybody has all the information. Kind of like we keep talking about. I've been talking with people about the Hobby Goat thing, and it's just like I don't know enough about it to really be informed enough to say anything with confidence about it. And so I try and keep out. Hey, here's some Lexan. This could be used for the back of that body. Gorilla tape that in with some holes in it. Should be good to go. That's why I hang on to that kind of stuff. You just never know when you're going to use it. Yeah, the zombie actually would be a good one in the under 300 range. Somebody was asking. RC Noob was about. I have that up there. That's one of my favorites. I mean, I told my brother to get one. So my brother actually has one coming that he ordered. So he drove mine and loved it. So, I mean, I'm not like just saying that and, you know, trying to get you to get something. But I really like that, the Bison, or the Zombie and the Maximus. The DHK stuff I just think is fantastic. Some of these are getting hidden for some reason. Let's show it. That's it. The Proline Ambush discontinued. Yeah, at Tower Hobbies. That's what I saw. Joe Conti fixing any crawler stuff today. The only thing, Joe, that I have to fix for my crawlers is I have to screw. I need to find a longer screw to hold my winch in place. But other than that, my crawlers are doing good. However, I do have one that I plan to build. A whole like SCX10 roller in a bin over here that I want to build. I bought it kind of as an extra spare parts truck for my mud truck. So we could finish it while we waited for the replacements for like the axle and stuff to come in. So once that axle comes in, I'll have a complete complete RTR for that SCX10 back. So yeah. What next do I fix? Part of me wants to put my Gravedigger back together. It's not functioning right now. My Traxxas one. I could probably scab motors and stuff from other RCs that I don't really use that much. Maybe this one. So I got 2 of them. So I might do that. It's not waterproof though, so I want that to be waterproof. All right, so I guess I start just wrenching on the Bison, and we see where we go here. Scary. Kyle says second the zombie. Joe Conti says, see, nothing breaks on crawlers. That's pretty true. Every once in a while, I might break a hub carrier or something like that if I fall hard enough and far enough. But really, I haven't had too much go on my CCx10, except the drive shafts. Jeffers says, ever thought of going big time with a 1/5 scale gas? I have not. Actually, I have. I've thought about it a lot. And yeah, I don't know where I'd run it again. I have, that DBXLE, and I'm limited on places that I can take it to run. And then dealing with the gas and the noise and all that, I'm not sure my neighbors would love me running it in the backyard all the time. But I would love to. Tiago Martin says, need a set of hard rubber tires to run JLB on asphalt. What should I get? I don't know what to recommend for street stuff at all. I would be the worst advice on that. Redbeard RC, what are your thoughts on how the Red Cat Everest Gen 7 stacks up against the offerings from Axial, Vitera, and TRX? I think that it seems pretty good. There's a couple videos. Shen RC did one where he showed where they actually put something in backwards in the RTRs on those, and he fixed his to make it run better, and how it was in the manual. So, yeah, I haven't actually had one, seen one hands on. I know the Axial and the Vitera and the TRX are on a pretty equal playing field in a lot of ways. We were just out camping and running them all, and actually I think it was the Vitera that outshined all of them when we were there. And part of it came down to just sticky compound tires and things like that, but a lot of it comes into how you mod it, and I think that's going to be the same for the Gen 7. The question mark for me would be what upgrades there are for that at the moment. But again, I think most of them run very similar platforms, and so you could swap out axles and things like that and kind of make your own mutant if you want to. A blend, I guess, of them all. So, John says, say hey to Madeline for me. That's awesome. James Price, do any merch? If I'd buy a shirt if you ever do that. I have shirts and things available. They're linked in my descriptions. It's all through Spreadshirt. The ones that I get, actually, I get from Spreadshirt by myself. I don't have them marked up to make any money, anything like that, because the cost is already what I think a t-shirt should cost, and so I don't add any markup to it to make any money on it. It's just a way for me to even buy shirts and get them one off and not have to order a batch and try and guess what sizes I should stock and then have to deal with shipping. If I do it through Spreadshirt, all of it's taken care of by them. They'll print one shirt. They'll print 5 shirts. In fact, I owe somebody one for a trade that we did, and I have the money to do it now. So I need to get on that. You know who you are. Yeah, I kind of held out on them. But yeah, it's probably even at the bottom of this video in the description. It is CCX. That doesn't actually work anymore. CCxRC.com/t-shirts. Yeah, that's a bad link. So it's actually, let me go ahead and fix it for you guys. I can post the link. But if you just Google CCxRC shirt, I think it'll take you to that page. CCxRC shirt. I think it'll take you to Spreadshirt. Yep, shop. Here we go. I'll put the link over there for you guys. People watching later won't get this link, but I'll update the description to have it. But I'll put it over in the chat for now. For anybody that wants to look at what we have available. The shirts that I've designed. I need to get in and design some more. I can't believe I have that bad link in there. Shame on me. It gets tough to keep up on it all sometimes. All right, so I'm going to take a look at this. One of the pains is going to be the lighting. I don't like lighting anyway, and then for it to be, I guess it won't be that big of a pain. Yeah, let's see here. Let's take a look. This is what we're dealing with. Actually, you know what I can do? Aha, I forget that I can do some of this stuff with this cool tech we've got. Here is what I have available. If anybody wants to go and buy, it doesn't help the show at all, except for wearing around. And but again, the pricing on this stuff is not markup. Some of them cost more than others. I do the V-necks because that's what I prefer, and so I'll spend the extra for myself to get the V-necks. But again, they're not marked up, so the $15 price or whatever is what they charge for them, and then the V-neck prices are more. The RC car collection ones cost more because they have a back on them, I believe is why. Yeah, on the back they've got the logo, so it's 2 prints for them. So that's why that one costs a little bit more, even though it's a t-shirt only, and then there's shipping. So, but again, I pay it full price when I order them as well. I don't get any discount for myself. It just saves me from having to keep inventory and, you know, not have the right sizes in stock that people want. So, anywho, whoops, get to see my Facebook page for a second there. Ha ha ha! I forget that it was live on that screen. If anyone's interested, I can show you the setup here, but that might not interest anybody. Some people find that kind of stuff interesting. Others do not. But yeah, so it looks like I need to go in and change out. I've got like an auto post for the bottom of all the videos, and that has the wrong link for the shirts because I got rid of my website actually completely and just used the web address to point to YouTube because they were just YouTube videos on the website. It didn't make any sense to maintain it. And really, I want people on YouTube anyway. It's just easier and better and faster. Drew Face, how's it going, man? Got a V2. That's awesome. I've been looking at that. There, Antonio's saying for Tiago, the Proline on-road soft tires are good. So anyway, that's the merch thing. I should have had that right, but oh well. Hey, I just noticed something I hadn't noticed before. I have 2 sets of these Integy wrenches, and one of them actually has a smaller handle. I never realized it. Interesting. I had to buy a second set because I keep breaking like the little ones, like the pink and the black ones. I keep breaking that tip off. Drew Face, how's she holding up for you? Recommends shock oil weight for jumping. Okay, full disclosure. I just run into stock shock oil for jumping and bashing. I have a feeling I'm going to break stuff all the time anyway. The extra investment, whatever, for the handling, the little extra that I get, I find that I can usually bash these pretty good stock. Some people have to tune their cars. I don't necessarily feel that way about them. Maybe because I don't know how to tune them as good as other people to feel the benefits. I don't know what it is. I mean, I definitely noticed a difference. Like I said, this front on this one feels a little springy. I'll probably put like 60 weight or 80 weight into these, which would typically be where I would be in for bashing. And so I don't know what these got in them. But the problem is that it's probably low on oil and needs some attention. So it's at that time that I typically go in and when I rebuild the shocks, and I haven't needed to yet. In my opinion, it handled well enough for me. But yeah. All right, thank you, Michael. So that's what I'd say, Drew Face. I mean, once you feel like you need to change it, that's when I would start. I'd probably try, and it comes down to experimenting and what you like. But yeah, I'd probably run 60 weight or 80 weight in this car. Other people run more. So other people like more or less. It really comes down to personal preference. And sometimes I put different in the front and the rear. But yeah, I'm going to start tearing this apart. This one's going to require some electric juice, though. Questions coming in. Drew Face broke. Hey guys, I don't know if it'll let me jump back in on the same stream or not. I just got a phone call that just killed my live stream when I got the phone call. So we're jumping back on, whether it's on the same one or not. I think it is. It looks like we've jumped back in. So that was frustrating. Yeah. Anyway, we're back. I need to put my phone, I guess, in airplane mode or something and turn off the cell side of it so that doesn't happen. Actually, maybe give me 2 seconds here while we're live and we'll do that here. I'm going to put you guys... well, you can just watch. Let's see. Hopefully I don't miss any important calls, though. Alright, so I think that works. The tech stuff that goes on. That's fun stuff. Got a voicemail now. Popping through. And since I'm doing all this, we'll go ahead and we'll show you what we're doing, maybe, so that you can kind of get an idea of how all this runs, because it's kind of an interesting setup, and why we just lost our feed. So I'm going to try and click over to this view. It's not as good, but it'll show you kind of what we're looking at. So here is what's running it all. You guys are all run on this little switcher, which allows me to just tap into different cameras like so, or to my computer screen. All run off of here with a microphone on an iPad. This is what I use to record the regular videos that go on the channel. And then this is what's acting as that secondary camera there. So I can just tap through to the different cameras and be on them. And so that's kind of the tech that's running it. And then you get a phone call pinging through to the different things and it just drops out. So my apologies. We're just trying to do some cool stuff, but every once in a while technology gets in its own way. All right. So that's how it works. Wow, Drewface says that his came without anything in the shocks. That's nuts. Yeah, I would try like 50. Or I'd try like 60 weight oil. I've got some like 60 weight here for the X-Max I need to put in that I bought from Kyle, who was on here earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but he overbought for the size. Somebody was asking earlier, so broke LEDs. Yeah, don't worry. If I break the LEDs, then they're done. As long as they run, that's fine with me, but they mess up video because I don't like the light flaring in and adjusting the exposure and all that. And so for me, they're not useful. Redbeard RC, is your dad still bashing his ruckus? My dad actually passed away this past October, so but we gave that to some of the grandkids, and they are having a blast with it. So not my grandkids, so my brother's kids, so my nieces and nephew, and so they've got it. So that is that, and I think we're back to where we were. So yeah, so I've got the new chassis here, and we're gonna work on getting this outfitted so that I can run this car again, because I do love running it. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very fun car to bash. I had never run an e-Revo, and so I wouldn't have known. You know, people say they look a lot the same. They do look a lot the same because of the body and the tires, but they're not at all the same as well, if that makes sense. So I'm going to probably try to put the brace on first, because I know that there are some spots that get covered by other things on this, and so I want to have that brace on the bottom. Oh, I don't know, that's not going to work. I lied. So I get everything together and then put the brace on before I put the electronics in. That's what I have to do. So yeah. Where to start? This is the stuff that I don't get enjoyment out of. I'll be honest. This kind of thing, and why I put off doing it for so long. I guess probably where I will start is by removing the whole rear end of the vehicle, because I don't have to deal with the servo and all of that. I think that's going to be my start, and I can break away the, well, I guess I don't have to break away. Here's the drive shaft. But I still think that's where I will start, and we'll just kind of get to it. But so here's where I said you guys are going to see some of the behind the scenes stuff, because I'm actually going to flip on my camera here and record some of this, because people will probably want to see some of this in a not live version. They'll get the shortened version of this whole process, because we're going to just be able to cut it up and high speed it and all of that. So pardon me for a second, guys, while we go over. I'll go over to this camera now and shoot this really quick. So let's do it. It's recording. Pop this up. Gonna have to lean in. This is all the stuff you don't know. Lean in because the framing's kind of weird already, and the camera's closer than normal, and so I just kind of cheat it. And we'll get the car ready. Oh, fake it. Hey guys, what's going on? Tony here, CCxRC, and today we're going to be fixing up the V-Car Bison. I took it to Dennis Anderson's Grave Digger's Dungeon last year for the World Finals for the RC Monster Trucks. That's put on by No Limits RC. And while I was just kicking around waiting, realizing I wasn't going to be able to stay for the... they were having like a freestyle competition, but I had to get out of there to do something else. And everything was running long because of rain. I decided to just bash this thing until it broke. And I just, was flooring it. And so I landed going for a long jump on the fin and broke the chassis, which so many people have done before. And so what we're going to do is we're going to replace this chassis and we're going to get it outfitted with the new chassis brace that they're selling for these things and give it some extra strength that way, guys. So bear with me. We're going to just kind of break through this, kind of start tearing the car down for you. It's 3 sections, so we'll start with the rear. And then we'll do the front end, and then we'll finish up with the electronic components, I think, because of the way that the chassis brace is going to go. So let's do it. And that's how we do the openings. And then we just work. Okay. I was between the Bison 21101. Chose the 21101. How do they compare in terms of driving? I think that the Bison is more responsive, but more prone to braking. It's lighter because it's got the plastic chassis and less metal all around. And so I find it snappy and I like it. It also has the better ESC, the one I had at least, out of the box. And until they put the 100 amp in the JLBs, I thought the Bison was just way better. Now that they've upgraded the ESCs, I think the JLB is pretty close, but you definitely feel the weight of it more in a way. So I don't know. I just love to bash this thing. A lot of fun. Boosted Car Custom says I own 56RC monster truck. Wow, that's crazy. Michael Montgomery, you're lucky, I think, because most of them now are shipping with that chassis plate, so that's good news for you, because I think that's going to make a big difference in how these things do or do not break. So I think you should be good to go. The other thing that people are doing is that they're taking threaded rod and they're running it between the 2 towers here, front and rear. You put a nut on the inside and the outside, and that keeps it from moving. Helps keep it from moving. So that's a trick that people are using as well. I wish right about now that I had one of those trays that, or the mats that people use, and you can divide up your parts, because I'm going to lose something here. I have a feeling. So Kagan's saying, someone said if our chassis has screws in the bottom, take them all out and then strip it down without regard. Not sure what that means. I might have missed something along the way. Tends to happen. Yeah, Michael, let me know how it goes when you get that thing. Where'd you order it from? So you got the version 2? Is that what you ordered? Alright, so we're undoing our light kit here. It's going to all have to transfer over. And what do we need to do to release this from the bottom? Definitely got a few screws in here. Alright, so now we got to just undo a few screws that hold these 2 chassis together. It looks like there might be 4-ish. Mine are really caked in with dirt. I should probably take the time to clean it. Who thinks that's going to happen? I'll clean it by running it through a puddle, probably. That'll be the cleaning that I give it. All right. The dog's coming up here to say hello. My dad's old dog was staying here with us when he was in the hospital. We just decided to keep her. She's getting old. She's like 12, something like that, 11, 12. So, this is always the pain, is when you get all this caked in clay and dirt into the screws. I typically just use a smaller size hex and get in there and kind of round it out and try and get the dirt to come out like so. Other people probably have other ways that they do it that are very helpful and useful as well. So let's see what we got here. That is not enough to break it free. Got two more from the top side here that we got to get to, and they're underneath this. Who designed that? Want names here, people? So we got to take this mount off. Isn't that fun? Alright. Most of these seem to be the same size. Those last two are a little bit longer. So I should actually put those to the side here. Hopefully you remember which one those went to. So now I can get the top two screws out of here. This should be enough to break free. Hopefully. So you got it from eBay for $230. That's not bad. I have some issues with my hands here too. It's kind of lame. I've got an injury. It might be the lamest injury ever. I was trying to, well, it happened the first time. Trying to open my minivan door with my hands full. I just used my pinky and I pulled. And I felt this pop and this pain all the way up to my elbow. And then I iced it and whatever. Tried to be genteel with it. So there we go. Look at that. Look at that spur gear. Oh my goodness. That thing is wrecked. I just totally destroyed this thing. Oh my gosh. You guys see that? That thing is just like flat. I don't even know how it was driving. Well, we have a metal one that we're going to be able to put on here. That's pretty unbelievable, though. But that came off pretty easily, I will say. So, I guess while we're here, we'll go ahead and replace that. Looks like I probably need to pull out a few more screws in order to do that. Yikes. Wow, my mesh must have gotten so bad. I wonder what the pinion looks like. Kind of afraid to look. That one's a little bit bigger size. You know, I might have a whole nother diff. Since I gotta replace the outdrive and everything. This might be a little bit bigger repair that I gotta do. Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna end up having to use the manual to put it back together. I'm not gonna. Luckily, I don't have to strip everything, and so it's just gonna be a matter of looking at which ones where the longer screws and shorter screws go. I think it's gonna be my main thing. So Let's take this and see what the pinion looks like. I gotta take it off anyway. And the pinion's metal, so hopefully, I mean, that might be why it did so much damage. So 2 screws for this. Yeah, there's a couple more screws in here. I have to take them out anyway. Actually, no, we don't. All right, let's see what we did. This is the fun stuff, the discovery of what your abuse has done to the thing. Yeah, the pinion looks pretty good. So the pinion looks alright in here, but I totally destroyed the spur gear. So, the question is going to be, is this diff the same? Or is this outdrive here the same? I might be able to use it on this vehicle. Other question is, I've got another roller of this that probably has a diff in it that I might be able to get this outdrive cup from. But I've still got to get it off, so I've got one more. Looks like it's probably the blue size in order to take this plate off. Actually 2 more, because these ones are holding it as well. So again, use a smaller size. Try and get this dirt out of here. Tons of dirt just caked in here. Alright. Discovery time. Hey, thanks Legendary Explorer for the big like. This is a little bit extra work that we need to do here. On top of fixing the chassis, we've obliterated the center diff. Not the diff itself, but alright, so what do we got to do here to fix the damage that we've done? So I know that I can easily fix the gear here. That's not a big deal. What I need to see though is how I'm going to take this cup off and where I might get another ball cup from that will fit. So outdrive, I guess, not a ball cup. Yeah, there are some people that have built some bison that are definitely much more solid than they come stock. I do like how they made this pinion though, or this spur gear. If I recall, the replacement on it was very easy because we'll just push it back and then it just slides over. So it's a pretty easy swap once you get it visible. which is really only a few screws. I think it's like 5 to 7 screws to make it visible. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to run down to the garage in a minute here and see what I can do, because that fixing that ball cup is gonna be a kind of a primary thing while it's apart like this. So yeah, so to take off the spur gear, you literally just drop it down, spin into this opening, and it pulls right off. That easy with this system that they've got. I do like that. So, new part, metal spur gear, steel. Just cutting my table up. And so this is going to slide on, but before I do that, I'm pretty sure I have to take this diff apart. In order to get this off. Wish I knew where my manual was. It's probably sitting over on. I have a whole shelf of manuals. It's probably over there. Alrighty, let's see here. Let's just open her up and see what we got. It's not that many screws to deal with, so kind of want to see what it looks like anyway. It's going to strip out if I'm not careful. I don't know why they did standard Phillips for this particular screw set in here. It's a little bit frustrating. Feeling this is all gonna strip out. And I might be ordering a new center diff. I'm not lucky. Feel some of these. Just, it's like they were stripped when they were put in. They're different size. That one's just so tight. So tight. Can't blow all the dirt away because of the other things here. This is the stuff where you fast forward through and you make it look like it takes an hour or so to change your chassis, but you spent an hour just trying to open a diff. Doesn't help that my hand is having that issue. If I can. Alright, we're going to pause here for a second. I got to get a screwdriver for it. All right. Back with some tools and the other half of the car. So I might actually, of another car. So I might actually just trade out. We'll see. Feels right. They're definitely in here tight. Let's get a strip. Alright. They do look like they're Loctited. That one's going to be problematic. Problematic. This is at the point where you get really frustrated working on these things. When even the right size tools don't do it, and there's just not much else you can do. And that's the right size. But I, unlike other people, have another one, so I can cheat. But for the people that can't cheat, you know, that's what we're trying to make sure we can get in this for. I could just swap out the whole thing on the other car. Yeah. And so here's where I show my frustration and just chuck this one to the side. Throw a whole new one up on the bench that has a good cup in it already. So, yeah. We'll get the electronics from this one later. We will save all these screws just so we have more than enough. But we will, so Kagan's saying heat helps heat the screw up, heat up a screwdriver tip, then hold it on. But don't melt the plastic though. Yeah. I'm just going to switch over to this one because it has the better diff in it. And that one I'd have probably just had to replace the whole center diff is what it will be. And what I will do anyway is I'll order a new one. Or I'll go to... this shock is bent on the back here. Oh no, it's just the cup is off. There we go. The little spring holder plastic cup is not set right on here. So it makes it look like the shock is bent. Yeah, so what I'll have to do with that other one is I would just order a whole new center diff. I would have, because I have to order the new piece anyway, the new out drive, I think it'll be easier to just do the whole center diff. So that's what I would do in that scenario. I happen to have a whole new center diff. It's in this car, and so that's what we're going for. We're skipping the part of having to run to the hobby shop because, like I said, I could get it at Hobby Town because they sell these under a different name. Craig, yes, I'm cheating. Hi, Fizzy Guy. So, pretend that this is me driving to Hobby Town to buy a new center diff, and ignore that I already have a second one as a roller. because this is cheating. Our CCxRC says, geez, Tony, pretty rough on the rigs. Just a little bit. The problem is, like when I get sent these things, I kind of take it upon myself and put the burden on myself to really beat it up and see what it can take. I mean, if they're going to send it to me free to do a review for you guys, you know, I think that the best thing I can do is really beat it up really hard and see what it can take. Now, if you spend money for it, I wouldn't recommend doing what I do to it. And I don't do... Well, that's not true. There's some of them like the Revo or some of them where I do spend money on them, the X-Max, where I still do beat them up pretty bad. But these ones I give extra abuse. Because, again, if people are going to be spending their money on them and they're coming to see the reviews, then, you know, we better put it through its paces and see what it can handle. Now, the shocking thing is that I really beat mine hard and I never had issues with the chassis braking until like months in. Because it's a pretty specific way, it seems like, that you have to land in order to brake it. So I was shocked when people started claiming that their chassis broke and mine was still driving. And then I landed on the fin. It was actually a smaller jump that broke it than the big ones. I wasn't going out far at speed and over rotating and landing like that, which is very easy to do because these have so much power that they automatically start flipping when you take off. But because I was shooting mine straight up into the air, I wasn't having the same problems that other people were having. I'll just say that. So this should be easier. In fact, this diff looks good still, for the spur gear. Still pretty good. Gotta cut off our wiring harness here. So that RC Nexter is why these are so abused. But I don't know that I would abuse it the same way right out of the gate after I bought it. I'd at least run it for a while before I would go as hard as I've been going with these straight out of the box, like first run. Alright, so what am I catching on? I'm missing something that has to come out. There it goes. Guess I'm not missing something. Yeah, so this spur I got a much better mesh on, so it looks a lot better. But I'm still going to swap it out for the middle one. Which means, again, I got to take out a few more screws down here in order to take this plate off. So I'm going to put this rear onto a whole nother just chassis. And then I'm going to take the electronics and I'm going to have to move them over to here. So it's a big job, which is why people should, when they get it, make sure that they, knowing that there's an issue, you should try and prevent the chassis from breaking. My problem was I got mine up and running right before that competition, and I wanted to take it and run it in the competition, and I didn't have time to get out to get the bracing and stuff that I needed. Kagan says, I, for one, appreciate the A1 RC testing. What does that mean? I might not be good to terminology. RC Nixon, again, the one thing that's nice about this one is the part support, because I can just look up the Helium manual and go to Hobbytown and get the replacement parts for it. So that's nice. I've got a whole mess of screws here on the bench. It's just kind of how I work. It's very kind of frenetic in some ways. I would probably do good to just have the same white thing, but have the whole thing be a magnet. And then I would probably tape off areas to put different parts. So, Drew Face is saying that the other one comes with the steel spur and the metal. Yeah, the version 2 has been upgraded to help protect. I think, and one of the cool things is that they have seen what we're doing and what we're wanting, and they've responded. And so version 2 of this has the steel spur gear, and it has the metal chassis brace. So they've tried to address some of the problems that we've seen with these vehicles, which I think is awesome. How's it going, Steve DeClark? Just jumped in. So right now we're accessing, taking off the last few screws here that will let us access the spur gear and get it slipped on and out and over. Just trying to do it in a way that I can really get access to it. Now, surprisingly, I haven't really bent the hinge pin carriers on this one. Alright, so now we've got easy access to replace this. Version 2 people, like they're saying, won't have to do this because you should already have a steel spur gear. Unless you somehow mess that up. In which case, you're driving too hard. Hey, Jamin, have a killer weekend, man. I think my battery just died. So I'm saying get version 2, no more chassis issue. That would be the easy way. I'm just trying to make mine to version 2, basically. The hard way. For people that have this already. Now see, I'm doing it the hard way. I don't know why. 1.5. I have this kit that I should be using right now and utilizing. I typically use. It is louder, and that's why I didn't start with it, because there's a lot more noise involved. There we go. Slide that around and pop it off. Now give me 1 second. I gotta go flip the battery on my camera. We're kind of going crazy with videos here recently, guys. I don't know if that's good or bad. If it's too many for you guys or not. If it is, well, tough, because I got a lot more coming. So, basically, this is one thing about this camera I don't like. You have to take the tripod mount off. You can't just drop the battery out. So, put in the new one. And you got to strap this back on. You can see where I broke it when it fell one time. The tripod crashed down. Oh, what we do to capture this stuff. Alright, it's running again. So this video that I'll do for this, I'll cut down a whole lot. Whole lot of the wrenching parts. Just show the main parts like the metal spur gears now going on, guys. We'll easily just slip this over, give it a little twist, and it's ready to reinstall the screws here. Now it's metal to metal, so we need blue Loctite. Almost forgot. And this does come with new screws if you want to use them. I plan to just use the old ones. They're still good. Just gonna make a little dab of blue Loctite on the plastic here, and we'll just kind of drop them in here. I'll probably have to add a little more as we go. All right. Oops, gotta switch that over. So guys, what's your favorite modification or upgrade you've done to any of your cars? Aaron, yeah man, we've been running into a few issues, so we're still on here, still working. I still need to send you that shirt, man. So I just got some money in from YouTube, and so I'll get it ordered up for you very soon. Hopefully tonight. So if you've been wondering where it is, it's coming. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, you'll see the awesome, or you missed the awesome X-Max body that Aaron sent me. Because he saw that mine was destroyed. Alright. So that is all set now. We got our steel spur gear on. This has the good outdrive on it. This is basically like I went in and replaced the the center diff. If I would have gone to the store, I just run out. It's too far right now for me to run out there one more time this week. But I will get it next time I go to Hobbytown and have it on standby and fix up that other rear end so it's ready to drop in when I need a replacement. So now I'm just going to put some marine grease in it on here and just kind of coat it a little bit. Especially these bearings, get them coated. In case I find some water. Ah, I did it again. My gosh. I pulled my pinky on my shirt and I got that piercing pain that went through my hand and up my arm. I definitely jacked up something there. So this wrenching's not feeling very good. Don't know what damage I did, but there's some. Okay, so now I gotta fight through that and I gotta put this back together. So this one of these we're going into metal right here, so we gotta remember that. And then also we gotta remember how this all fits in. So these are going into plastic, and these are the bigger blue size, which is our 2.5 millimeter. I guess I should do it by size. I do it by color. Just kind of a visual person that way. Give me the blue wrench. You mean the 2.5 millimeter? Yeah, the blue one. So I appreciate actually that Integy has them color coded. It just makes it. I mean, I've got all these like Hootie really nice wrenches, but I really wish that they were color coded. It'd make my life easier, being able to quickly find the right size wrench. Okay, again, I don't know, man. it's possible. But like I said, I pulled with my pinky trying to pull the lever on the door, and I just popped something. And it hurts right now, right in this knuckle and palm. Drew says, never too many videos, keep them coming. I've still got to edit together the Revo videos. I've got 2 of them, the one in my yard and the one at the BMX trail. I'm going to cut together as one, I think. Start with the backyard and move to the BMX, or maybe just mix them up. Just a bunch of jumping and flipping and set it to some cool music, that kind of a deal. Go. Snug that down. Alright, so now these were button head screws. These were Loctited. Let me this one here. I do have a pretty good memory, so visual at least, and so I'm pretty good about remembering where these parts go. And so I don't necessarily advise doing this for everybody the way that I'm doing it, but so far I haven't had issue putting one back together from memory. I don't usually pull the manuals out until like I have to. But I've also worked on this one before, and so I kind of remember it from that too. Redbeard says, best mod for me is usually involving adding heavier center diff oil in vehicles. I hate when all the power of the rig is lost to the front wheels, plus it just looks goofy. That's cool. So Aaron Peters says, called old age. Yeah, man, I can definitely feel that. Ben Whitlow, what's up from Charlottesville? Hey, man, that's awesome. The Bug Baja Yeti body would fit on the SMT-10. Ah, sorry, man, I got rid of that thing. I've been kicking myself ever since I got rid of that Darth Vader body on that Yeti. And it's been passed around. Actually, some people I bet later down the road so that they'd actually had it. And I was so bummed. They're like, been trying to locate it, see if I could get it back, but no luck. How's it going? Christopher just jumped in. The RC Hunter, I think, is back. When in doubt, check the hole depths. Yeah. All right, RC Nexter, man. Have a great weekend. How's your snow holding up there? Your videos have been so beautiful. I love watching them on my TV. Makes it hard to comment, but I love watching them. Hey, Oscar's Aquariums, how's it going, man? What kind of aquariums do you have? Fun, weird tidbit people may or may not know. I also have a fascination with aquariums, and actually have a YouTube channel that I don't do much with recently for aquariums and fish tanks and the like. So it seems weird to put this back together knowing that I'm gonna have to take some of it apart to put the chassis brace in. Ben Whitlow, yeah, man, sorry about that. Somebody else just asked me to check another body to see if they would fit on something, and I forgot to do it. Now I'm trying to think of what it was. Shoot. I need to go back through. There's so many places where I'm trying to keep up with things that people are wanting to see, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, So it gets a little bit confusing for me sometimes, because sometimes there's just a lot of comments and a lot of questions to get to, and I try to get to as many as I can. What do I add on screw? These screws I'm just putting, if it's going into metal, I'm just adding the blue Loctite, if I'm understanding correctly. Because these ones are going to go down into the chassis, into metal here. Oh shoot, these ones aren't. These ones are. Just going to go down. 1,000-gallon aquarium in my room and 2 arowana. Dude, that is awesome, man. Beautiful fish. Illegal here, but beautiful. My tanks are fairly small. I've got a 40-gallon breeder, saltwater, corals, a few corals and rock, and a few fish in them, and then I have a pond. It's like a 2,000-gallon pond or something. Drew Face says, how do you think the Bison compares to the E-Revo as far as build quality and performance? I feel like they're direct competitors. Is the extra money worth the E-Revo? The E-Revo is on another level. It's massive compared to it. The plastics in the chassis and everything are beefy and huge. It's not as small and lightweight as this is, which isn't a bad thing for this. I mean, I don't mind the size of this at all. Part of it is that this is just quick and can flip like mad. The Revo's got a little bit more heft to it, but I don't even know what the E-Revo's going for anymore. I think they just dropped the price on that and the T-Max or E-Max. So, alright, so we're beginning to assemble it now to the new chassis. And hopefully we're going to do this in a decent order of putting things back together. Yeah, Oscar, I DVR the tanked show. It's very cool to watch. Those guys and all the different fish that they show it's really cool. So, take a look here. The different ones. I'm going to wrap this cable around like so. And then we're just going to have some screws to put into here for holding some things in. I don't remember what. Okay, so my mind is failing me here. Where's the one that's got everything on it? Alright, so we're going to hold the motor mounts. Some of these are just going to be empty. Empty holes. I'll take this foam out of here. We'll glue those in. The motor mount's going to have to go into here. But I want to get the front and the rear on of these. So this is the old one. The front. So I'm going to work on getting the front installed, and then we see what we're going to do with that chassis brace and installing that. Because it did not come with directions. But I can see that there's a lot more extra holes that are going to have to get used, and some that are going to be shared screws, even ones that we just put in. And so we're going to have to back out some screws once we get it together. But it looks like we probably should get them together first and then take them out as we need to put new ones in. Because I don't want to be working the front end in with this already in place, I don't think. Yeah, Kagan, it does. 1,000 gallons sounds like an indoor pool. That's a huge tank. RC Hunter says he's gutted about LRP. Yeah. I haven't had much experience with LRP. I wasn't into Nitro, and they didn't really have much. They weren't huge, I don't think, in the market here, other than the Nitro stuff. But I could be wrong. Going back to see. So yeah, I mean the E-Revo is an awesome rig. It is a really awesome rig. Oscar is saying he's got a red-tailed catfish. That's awesome. Mine's just a koi pond. Hi Arduino, how's it going? You've got the CRC Jeep. Have you done any mods to it? Because if not, you should do the battery tray mods that have the electronics mount on the side. Then the battery tray is sets at an angle in front of your motor. It's just a few screws to hold it in place. I got it from Harley Designs site, and I can't remember who makes it, but it's available on his site, and it's really, really awesome. That was the first huge upgrade that I saw in performance, was doing that. Okay, so it looks like at this point we just start working on that front end. You know, I'm belaboring this, trying to think about some of this stuff too much. We're just going to get into it here and start tearing stuff apart. So this stuff's going to be obvious. As far as the location, we'll move this front one out of the way here, or the rear end, the new one. But some of this will be obvious, just based on the look. So my first goal is literally going to be to just get this stuff disassembled, and I'm going to put stuff in a spot that I think will make sense to me later. Sometimes I put the screws right back into the pieces. So like this whole part has to be taken off. So we'll just start working on it. Then we're going to have to deal with the steering section. Christopher is asking, Armor or Traxxas, what do I prefer? I have more experience with Traxxas than I do Arma. I don't have any of the good brushless Arma cars, so it's hard for me to say objectively. I will say I really like what Arma is doing. I think that they've got some great looking rigs that look to be really strong. And I really want an Arma Creighton, so I'll say that. So we're trying to find out here which ones I need to take out in order to break this apart. And that's going to include, from the top side here, we're going to have to remove some things. So there's a clip here that we have to pop off. I think my best way to do this, maybe my X-Acto knife in here, try and peel this back. That's not working. We're back to another C-clip, guys, or an E-clip, whatever you call them. These are not my favorite clips ever. I really don't like them at all as a method for connecting pieces. So, anybody on here have tricks to removing these other than just fighting until you're angry and that pops finally? Wow, nice and long RC hour. Yeah, we're just going for it. Oscar's Aquarium, what's my favorite fish? Funny enough, it's just a goldfish. Oh, so wait, so I'm sorry. He has the CRC. Oscar, you have the CRC, the new one, the SCX10 too? I misunderstood that part. If yours already has battery to the front, then it's working pretty good. The main thing I found about the SCX10 that I didn't like was it was really lightweight. And so I'd probably find ways to add weight to it. There it went. Yeah. So that would be my thought, is getting a little bit more weight to make it feel a little bit more realistic. All right, RC Hunter, go feed that RC addiction, man. Yeah, I know that they were huge. LRP was huge in England. It's definitely a bummer. The fact that any of these companies are going out is kind of a bummer. Don't want to see companies dropping out. I wish you could have more companies and still all of them staying alive, but still offering more products for the consumer. I mean, I love having the variety, but yeah, I mean, at some point, some stuff's gonna sell better than others. Why am I struggling with some of these pieces, guys? Have the right size wrench. Got this really expensive hoodie set, and I haven't found what yet these fit onto. Except I use it for like a wheel lug, which I don't mind using the standard tool for that. Nothing. Those don't work. Alright. Let's see if we can get some bite. Yeah, Tank, man, we're just kind of going for it on this fix. And, yeah, I'm just kind of just leaving it going because I got to be working regardless. So if people want to pop in, like I said, I might not leave this one up on here forever. I might just let it be what it is right now and then take it down, not leave it up. So this will probably be the part where I will have to look in the instruction manual to get it back together right, because I can't really tell what's going on here. And then we gotta pop this all apart. Let's see if we can just. You know, this would be easier if we took this off, this whole plate, because then this will all just pop out. That's what we need to do. Somebody says, sorry, I put tire weights in, okay. James Price, hopefully your Losi is gone this weekend to fund another crawler. Cool, man. Redbeard, always put a plastic sandwich baggie around the area near the E-clip. Good idea. That way when it pops off, it'll get stuck in the bag. That's a good idea. Oscar's Aquarium says the E-Revo is wider, definitely, than the Bison. E-Revo comes brushless. 1/10 should be the same size as Bison. That's what's funny about Traxxas's sizing, because that's just way bigger. Way bigger than the Bison. Looks like a little baby in comparison. Now I probably just lost all my screws. Tank, I wish you could come and take it apart for me. It'd be awesome to have money to just pay people to fly in and, hey, come wrench on some cars. What battery would I recommend for the SCX-10 II? I would go 3S if you're still running the stock gearing and motor, just to be able to get more speed. I could not believe how slow it was. Ooh, now that's looking scary. There's a lot of stuff going on in there for not using directions. So 2 more screws hidden in the top here. See till you pull everything apart. Seriously? Probably don't need to come out, actually. So what is holding these together? I've only got so much wrist strength right now. It's those screws that are holding it together. Alright, so looks like we just need to use our wrench and then hold these metal pieces that are spinning in place. And we'll be able to pop this apart. And then we will go online and get the part explosions in order to figure out how to put this back together. Or we'll look at the other one that I have sitting just to the side. Yeah, Oscar, you weren't here when we were talking about how I didn't have a good way to not lose my screws. I need a mat, a pit mat of some sort or another. There we go. We broke free. So it looks like inside of here we've got, yeah, we definitely have stuff that we want to push out this inside. Oh, that's what it was. Well, that apparently wasn't snapped on anymore, because this should have been holding on. So we'll need to back that out, put some locker on it, and screw it back down tight. Which we've got some locker right here. This out drive is just kind of not attached anymore. Alright, so there we go. Funny what you find when you start taking things apart. Alright, so I think most of this will just shove into this new chassis. Like so. Problem is we gotta get this on top. And then get our drive shaft. Pop, there it goes. Pop in. Gotta take our, flip this around for you guys. I gotta pop these steering parts back in and through here. And we're gonna have one that's right here as well. That'll push back in, which I set down here. So that's going to go through from the top, and then we'll screw it in from the bottom. But first, it looks like we've got some bearings still to get out of this. Two bearings that I have, but we're gonna put a little bit of grease onto. Marine grease them. Grant's RC Adventure says he's gonna recommend Venom. I always have recommended Venom. I will disclose though that they just recently sponsored me. And I said yes because I do like their batteries, and so there's that. So I have to be careful about at least disclosing that if I'm going to say that I like those batteries. But I've had great success with Venom batteries. I will say that. As well as the bias batteries, which are pretty much the same thing I've found. They're made by Atomic RC. And yeah, are pretty much the same battery. Alright, so I'm seeing a bearing over here that we're going to need. So let's see here. Oscar's Aquariums. You need a magnet mat. Yes. I think do I have a P.O. box? I do not. You can message me on Facebook. I do give out my address to some people. So I don't have a P.O. box yet. It's tough because I hate giving out my address to everybody, but it's also, you know, an extra expense that I don't have. It's not like I'm getting a ton of stuff sent to me through YouTube to warrant having a PO at this point. So maybe in the future, if people want to send stuff, I might have to do that, but for the time being, I've been comfortable enough just on a one-to-one basis giving out that information. So we're putting the screw back in here, and that's for our servo, and so then we need to put our C-clip on this one. However, I think I might have jumped the gun and we don't have a bearing in here. Oh no, we do have a bearing. We do have a bearing on the bottom side. We need the bearing on the top side, which is right here. Yeah, Kyle, man, we're just letting it roll. I'm trying to get this bison fixed. Oh no, I lost my recording again. Shoot. My hands are all greasy too, and I don't really want to touch the camera. So, go to my... I'll touch my iPad apparently though with greasy hands, oily hands from the oil, not grease. I guess it's marine grease, so it is greasy hands. Yeah, so we're kind of making some decent progress, I would say. I'm gonna have to put that C-clip back on here, but I need to get that camera running again. Oscar, man, I just saw that comment, man. That'd be awesome. Some of it gets tricky. I've got to also just you know, choose what I'm going to spend the money on, what people want to see. So I try and take everything into account. All right, let's see. That'll bite. Now we're gonna just start throwing some of these screws back in here. That doesn't seem like it'll bite enough. I think it's these longer screws. They're the first things I pulled off, so yeah. So we're starting to get it back together. This should help hold it in place a little bit. If you're going for maximum speed out of the Bison, you'd recommend oil. Where would you put the oil? Like diff oil? I'm not a speed guy though. I'm really a basher, flipper, crazy air kind of guy. It's kind of my speed. I only need enough speed to be able to hit the jump. Usually I'm under half throttle when I'm hitting the jump. All right, so we're looking okay here. I think I'm to a point where I should probably grab the manual. I need to adjust this this camera anyway, guys. So give me like 60 seconds and we'll be right back. How does that sound? I'll let you guys watch this for a minute. Oh, that's not working. Okay, those aren't working. I'll let you look at the car. I'll keep talking though. I do need to get a drink at some point. I can't believe we're still live. Don't know why we just cut off the video. Maybe I forgot to hit record and just missed all that. That's a bummer. I might have to steal some of the footage from the live stream. Alright, it's recording again. So, in the bearings of the axles, you use oil in them. I grease most of them up with marine grease just because I do tend to hit the water a lot, and just for the sake of protecting the bearings. So, I was going to get the manual. I think we're still all right. Most of these screws look to be about the same size that I have left. So like Kagan was saying, you just kind of have to visualize them. Like this is already threading in, so that's gonna have enough bite to it. But they're going into metal, so. Oh, you're over in Australia, huh? Hey, Oscar's Aquariums, do you have a YouTube channel for your fish that shows some of those, like your 1,000-gallon aquarium? Christopher is asking, do I know Basher Bad Bug version 2? I do not. Alright, let's see where we're at on the bottom side here now. What we've got to attach again. We've got to attach a lot. Okay. That's where this is coming back into play. underneath here. Let's go into metal. This might be where we start looking at our chassis brace. And what came with it. And what screw mounts we're going to need to use. So, looks like mainly just these 4 here we're going to use. So I can put that one in. All of these can go in because they're not included. So if you get this car straight away, then you only have a few screws you have to take out in order to start mounting this stuff up, this chassis brace. But also if you get a new one, you should already have this in place too. So it's a little bit different story. Uh-oh. I have an O-ring. I think it went on this arm here. I think it'll be alright without it though. It says, quick question, zombie or JLB? I'd say the zombie. You can re-gear your zombie to be a little faster. I don't know. I mean, I'll take that back. It depends what you want to do. If you want to go crazy and do flips and tricks, the new JLB Extremes are out of control. They're awesome. Your pinion gears will strip on those. The metal pinion gears aren't great. So you'll have to take that into account, that you will more than likely need new ones. So a little bit better quality one. But that's not super expensive. Like $5, $6. Other than that, they've held up really well for me. But there's just something about the zombie drives if you're just trying to jump it smooth. But the JLB's just wild. It likes to be wild. And so that's cool about it. Alrighty. We, my friends, are ready to install our chassis brace. Finally. Well, no, that's not true. We should put our servo in first, because attaching that later would be awful. James Price asking, what gearing do you have on your sticker bomb SMT10? I'm using factory gearing. I'm using factory gearing as well on mine. Yep. So, haven't changed that really too much, other than putting in the brushless system, but I left it. Alright, so this is where it'll get interesting, is putting all these pieces in again. Alright, so now we're moving on to this part of the car where we're just going to have to start taking out the electronics and moving them over and installing them onto the new chassis. So I'm going to start with the ESC and the servo, which are really caked in here. I'm trying to take a look here. It might. Yeah, that's where I'm going to start. So, I don't love how they've mounted these in here, I'll be honest. The way that they mounted the servos in here is kind of a pain in the rear to work on. So, let's do it. Let's get in here. Legendary Explorers looking for people to sub. I'm all cool with that being posted. Let it roll. It's good to get people subbing. You know, the hardest subs, guys, YouTube, are the first 500 subs. Let's just move this camera a little bit. So speak a little YouTube terminology. For people looking to get into YouTube, those first 500 are the hardest to get. And so I'm always encouraging people, you know, sub for sub, help people out. Once you break 1,000, it gets a little bit easier. I don't know why and how the numbers all play out, but that is what I found. Is that it's easier to keep growing and getting more subs once you've hit a certain threshold. Now mine isn't by any means as big as other people's. There's some really big channels out there. But I can just speak from the experience that I've had, and a lot of people mention, you know, how excited they were getting those first subs as they were coming in, and it's so true that it's those first 500 are amazing to get. Yeah, see, this was smart. You definitely don't want to button the car up before you get this servo and everything situated properly. And let's see, what else are we holding on to here? Just the wires. Something's grabbing on. Got a few things all taped up together here, so be careful. I don't want to just rip. So I can tell what we're dealing with. Looks like there's a little. Oh, we're still screwed in a little bit. That's what it is. Awesome. Alright, so that's the first part. We gotta rip out our. Ugh, look at that nastiness. So much junk on there. So they're kind of just propping up the ESC, probably just so it won't get stuck down in water. If you get water in the tub there. So they just kind of put this little tape down, double-sided tape to kind of, on this piece of foam, just to elevate this out of the car some. It's just smart, I think. So there we go. Now we've got most of that out. Just take it off the motor here. Like so. Now we're cooking. Oscar's Aquarium saying deserve a million. I don't know about that, but thank you. I just enjoy helping out where I can. Don't mind making the videos. It's something I know how to do. So it's enjoyable. This is not going to be fun. I never like reattaching these ball cups, especially in a space kind of like it's in. What else do we have that we have to do? We have to do... Where's this tray gonna hit? So this one's gonna be buried. So they're making this very tough on us. Because this screw that they want us to put in here is gonna go underneath the ESC and the servo in that tight little space. But I can't put this in yet because I need to be able to push that through. So, man, that's annoying. Okay. It's a little bit annoying, not gonna lie. So this is gonna mount in like so into here. This is gonna sit here, and what they want is there's a tiny little hole in here at the front, right down in here, where that's gonna mount in. So we have to I'm just going to push this on for now and get this locked in here. And then we're going to work on getting that chassis in before the brace in before we do the other stuff. While we can get in here and still use our pliers without that chassis brace in. So that chassis brace could prove to be, I mean, it could prove to really save a lot about this car, but it could also mean that any fixes you need to do to your servo and all that are just going to be that much more complicated because of the work that you have to do. So something to take into account, think about. I think that the benefits are going to outweigh the negatives. So there, we're clamped on. At this point, I think it's time that we do the install, which means I've got to pull out a couple of screws that I've already put in here to hold this together. Alright, bye. See ya, Legendary Explorer. Thanks for tuning in. Somebody said there was a good question that they're wondering. Oscar. Talking about the balloon method. Yeah, some people, I know that even Axial had showed that method using balloons before. So it is a method that has been used. And same with batteries. They use the two balloon method to keep them dry. Alright, so we are now installing our chassis brace, pulling out the screws that are included with this kit because they should be longer. Should. So we're going to go ahead, start with 2 here in the back. Oh wait, hold on. We got 2 more to remove. In here. Don't lose that screw. Runaway screw. I hate looking at parts that are on the bench thinking that should have been put in. I'm seeing one right now that I don't think is vital, but it should have been put in. Hopefully that doesn't bite me. At this point, it would be a nightmare to go back and put it in. These are countersunk, which is nice. But they do seem to still stick out a little bit, even though they're countersunk. We'll see. See how that does. This one was going into metal, so we're going to put a little bit of a locker on it, blue Loctite, thread lock, whatever you want to call it, lots of different names. And it's going to go right down in here. That cinched it down. Trying to only pull out what I need. I've got so many screws floating on the bench right now, I don't want to mix all these in. Kyle, you're saying you use dental tools. What part do you use the dental tools for? Curious. Sounds interesting to me. So now we'll do these front two here. Try and line this up. There it goes. It's a pretty substantial piece of metal here. Should definitely do the job to really help stiffen this up. Hey Brecht, how's it going? Do I know Team Magic RC? I know of it. I know that they've got one that's very much like the Red Cat. I think Red Cat may have rebranded it. Looks awesome, truggy. But yeah. I don't know that much about them. Their stuff seems fairly quality though. Hate when I hear that click noise. Yesterday there was this thing, I think it was nonsense, better than the normal chassis did. Don't know what that means. Sorry. Alright, so these ones, these little screws, you pretty much just have to push up through and then get one of these little square nuts on, which will then be held by the, looks like by the chassis, this bar in place. Ah, son of a, did anybody not catch this? I just buttoned this all up without putting the center drive shaft in there. Ha ha ha, that sucks. Yay me. So I'm actually going to pull the front apart as much as I don't want to, because this little black piece is supposed to go up in this front part of the chassis. And I don't think I got it in here. Unless it already came installed on the chassis, which I don't think it did. Don't know how important it is, but if I gotta pull it apart anyway, we're going to install it. So, that bites. So I gotta get that drive shaft in there. Which means I gotta take the whole brace back off. Ha ha ha! Awesome. Sitting here worrying about all the other parts. There goes that hand again. Damn. Hurts. We're doing all of this by power tools this time, guys. I'm putting these screws off to the side here. Alright, since we kind of know what it's doing now, and I kind of have an idea, this should go pretty quick. We're going to power tool everything. And just make quick work of it. But when it pays, the instructions out, you can see something like that. So wait, something's happening. People didn't notice. What's going on in the comments here? Oh, talking about the hobby tool set at Lowe's, yes. Okay, so it's the minimal I have to take out of here to break this apart. It definitely doesn't have that piece in there, so we're going to take it out. We're going to take it all apart. So, let's do it. Happens to everybody. Happens to everybody. I don't know how much longer my iPad's gonna sustain this YouTube. Staying battery level low. How long have we been going? Does anybody see down at the bottom? It's been a while, I know that. It feels like it's been a while. This project has been forever. This is also why I put it off for so stinking long. I knew it was going to be like this. Alright. So, now we're going to come from the top. Start popping these off. Yeah, by the time I'm done, I'll know the truck intimately. You are very right. I may hate the truck intimately, too. Yeah, we're struggling here. Been doing it too long now. This is why I kind of put off wanting to work on it, honestly. Alright, so there. Now we have the goods apart so that we can fix our past mistakes. This in here. Interesting. Okay. So this is interesting. Well, that's stripped out. So this piece actually I can't even put in because it won't go over this. So we're just going to have to let that have a little bit of movement. That's going to be alright. Won't be too bad. Because the screw in here is stripped out, so I can't even get that out. But we can get the drive shaft in, which is the main thing that we need to do. And then we just deal with the other annoyance. Line up. There it goes. Bingo. We'll say I have 2 drive shafts. This one is actually in better condition, so let's take this one out. This one's all rusted. Put this one in. This is not my favorite drive shaft setup, for sure. That's for how this goes in here. Alright, so that little plastic piece was kind of around the bearing there. It would be nice to have it, I'm not going to lie. Is it crucial? I don't think so. So, we're just going to put it back together. Because I really don't think it's a big deal. Hello, Saeed. From Pakistan. I have nothing against Pakistan. I've never been there, so I can't say more than that, but I have nothing against Pakistan. I have friends who love it there. Come on! There it goes. Alright, we're playing catch up now. That is this side. Flip it back over. I just gotta do this again. It feels like I've done this before. Deja vu. Hi from Canada. Do you love Canada? I've been to Canada. I do love Canada. Some of the people, though, are a little suspect. They play with these toy cars and drink milk from a bag. that was a fun foil. Alright, let's try this again, guys. We know where all the screws are now, so let's just get to it. Got the electric drill. We've got very little battery left. I'm going to try pulling this over to the regular microphone now and still let us talk, and then I can plug in the iPad because we got 5% battery life remaining. Says we've been going 2 hours on the second stream here, guys. Ugh. It's a long one. No wonder my Panasonic keeps running out of battery. Trying to speed this along. No more messing around. We got the power tools. Got to re-thread lock this stuff. Now we've got cool thread lock on all of our wrenches. Darn it. All right. Where's the bottle? Here it is. What a messy, messy bench. Yeah, longest ever chassis change record. Guinness Book. Blue thread lock. Well, hopefully this does the trick. But again, this is exactly why I did not want to do it in the first place. Was that I knew it was going to take me forever. Alright, so we're back to this square nut job thingamajigger. So these are going to be through metal. Get old countrified here. Thread lock everything. Holy crap, what am I doing? There's not a hole in the chassis there. So that's not going to be a spot. This one will work though. Really going to have to push this on though. That just does not make sense how that works. These are like not long enough. I wonder, kind of a wide thread. Trying to see what other options I have. Otherwise, again, it feels like one of those things where you wish it was like a two-person job. Have somebody pushing the screw through. Pushing on the chassis. And then screwing. Not connecting. These threads are not connecting. These do not feel to be long enough. So here's the other option. I loosen all these screws back up so that it's not bowing. What a pain. So I can make this a little bit tighter. I feel like these screws are actually kind of pushing the chassis, especially these end ones, creating a bow. So maybe if we loosen it. let's see. See, that's allowing it to kind of push toward the frame a little more. So we'll see if that will give us enough to just make contact and connect. Got it. Got one. All right. That's just, this should just give us a longer screw. I mean, that's what it boils down to. But we'll try and make do with what we've been given. And complain at a later time. So, this is a Black & Decker screwdriver from Walmart. Probably one of my most used tools ever. I've got 3 of them now. Just need to change a little light or outlet, socket, whatever. Pull out the screwdriver. Anything. Any and everything I pull it out for. Great little tool. Yeah, I feel like I just have to drill a hole, I guess, in the chassis for this one. I have my drill here, so I'll have to do that off camera later on. Or just skip it. Alright, I think this one up here by the servo takes the little nut because there's not enough room for a square one in this area. And I am correct. Alright, so that is it. Now we tighten it down. Try not to strip it out in our rush. Now we get to call it good, I think, guys. Well, I still gotta move the motor and all that. All right, there it is. Chassis brace installed. So guys, I think I'm going to end the live stream here for now. I might come back to it later, throw it back on to finish. But for now, I need to do things like use the bathroom and get more tools and that kind of stuff. We've been live for, well, a long time. Let's see what it says. It doesn't say how long we've been. It's been about 3 hours-ish, I would guess. 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in, hanging out all this time. There's a couple questions in here we'll get to. Let me just look at it real quick here. Someone asking what's my favorite thing. Hey, Shay, how's it going, man? Just see you jumped in here. Grant, James, yeah, it's a Black & Decker. Got several of them. I should have probably just had both out with the 2 different bits on. I'm an idiot. Here I am switching them. But yeah, so someone's asking about SCX10s or trail trucks that I do. I love my TRX4, which is back here. I have an original Axial SCX10. I love it. And yeah, the Bison, I really dig this thing. I think and hope that and pray that this is going to make it a lot stronger truck. I still think I plan to put the brace across from like here to here, basically, through the interior. A metal pole that'll go between just to stiffen it even more. Got a few things like a cover that I'm going to put in here. that I picked up. So I'll pick some of that up probably in a little bit. Maybe a 20-minute break, come back and hit it again, guys. So thanks for tuning in for now. We're going to be doing a lot of RCing today, so keep up. That's all I got to say. You guys have fun RCing. Take this break, and hopefully, if you're home, break out an RC and go break something. So catch you next time, guys.